GM, it is currently 7 minutes past 5 p.m. UK time, Sunday, the 22nd of February 2026. Welcome to another episode of Mycelink Sundays, which is a free weekly webinar every single Sunday, 5 p.m. UK time. And we cover everything from geopolitics, macro, technical analysis on stocks and crypto, and also futures trading. Today is a very special episode because for the first time ever, we have a special guest who is Mr. Ruled Out.
Nice to be
And
here.
that's that's a gentleman on screen. So Ruled Out is a crypto content creator, crypto KOL. I met him at the Birmingham Solana office. So for the international audience, Solana have a subsidiary called Super Team, and they host a free weekly workspace on Fridays in the cities of Manchester and Birmingham. Wherever you are in the world, check if you have a super team. I know they've got a super team in Poland. They've got a super team in Vietnam. I actually went to the super team Solana Vietnam office earlier last year. So if you're into Solana, check out Super Team, and hopefully they will have a Super Team in your city, in your country. Usually, we structure this webinar where Krog, my co-host, goes first and talks about geopolitics. Then I'll do macro and meme coins, and then my wife will do a health and wealth meditation, followed by Chrysler doing futures. However, because it is Ramadan Kareem, everyone,
You're my
and
friend.
Mr. Ruled needs to break his fast in less than half an hour. We're going to start off with our special guest. So this will just be an informal chat. This is Ruled Out's first ever long form Zoom webinar style content. So super happy that he chose us to host him, and we're happy to have him. So, dude, tell me a bit about your story. Tell us about yourself and what you do.
All right. First of all, thank you for having me on here. And I'm glad and excited to be hosted. Um, it was nice to also meet you, I'd say at Super Team's co-working space. And interesting to know that, this webinar happens every Friday where you can come pick up on really insightful knowledge and information. And when it comes to me, I'm rolled out. And starting for my name basically came from usually is my gaming tag in games. And then it was like my online alias. And because I'm always actively online, I decided to not just game, but like what other opportunities out there can I actually find to monetize my time online. And I'll say about 4 or 5 years ago, let's say like early or mid 2020s, I was surfing the web and I was looking for how to make money online. And I came across, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and everything. Back then, I would say I should have invested in Bitcoin, like everyone says.
Sorry,
But
which year was this?
this was 2020 and the year
Ah,
2020.
lockdown.
So yeah, lockdown. I should have invested in Bitcoin and everything. I knew about it. And even before then, I had friends that were trading Bitcoin. But then I had my, thoughts around it. And I was basically in college, so I wouldn't have thought to put money in I'll say cryptocurrency. But then I basically kept on doing my research. I also found about Forex and, trading stocks and the currency pairs and everything. I decided to start learning trading with currency pairs, but I won't say I ever traded them per se. With the learning and tea I learned from, from Forex and stocks, I started leverage trading crypto. And that's how I got into crypto. I started trading crypto and I was like, okay, I think there's more to this. It can't just be crypto alone. What else is out there? And then I kept on searching online and I searched on Twitter and realized like, wait, hold on Twitter, there are things going on around NFTs and crypto and everything. And that also made me so intrigued and curious, like, okay, there's something called digital art, and it seems people are making loads of money off of it. What is this? What's this tech? How can I get engaged in this? And because of that curiosity, I started learning more about NFTs, how to make NFTs, how to trade NFTs, and everything. And the funny thing was, the first NFT I bought back then actually robbed me, and I lost money on it. And I can remember I tell you it was like about $300 I spent to mint it, and it went to zero. I was like, okay.
Wait,
Uh,
wait. Did it go to zero because the founders ran off with the money, or did it go to zero because the market decided not to value it?
it went to zero because the founders ran away with the money.
Okay, yeah, so that's a
And
true one.
and I can remember it was called Crypto Buddies, and even up to now, if I search on OpenSea, it's still right there. But then I was like, because of that happened, I had to rethink my steps and strategy. Like, okay, is this really for me? Is this not for me? But then I kept on doing my research. I was watching YouTube videos. I was stumbling on people on X, formerly Twitter, and I could see people were actually posting real wins and real gains. Like people were actually making it. And because of that, I kept on trying to make it. I realized, okay, there's a whole community out there where you can interact with projects, interact with influencers, interact with people that are associated with the project. You can partake in project campaigns and win whitelist spots for NFTs. Because I understood the whole community, the whole mechanism behind it, I started participating with those. I started engaging those projects, and I started getting whitelists of myself. And I would say I got a whitelist on Solana then, and this was I can't remember the name of
Wait,
the.
could you explain to the audience, because we have a range of people here,
Okay.
what exactly is a whitelist? Because a whitelist was an error. That was an error. Like it still exists,
Yeah.
but there was an error where everybody wanted whitelist.
Okay. How I'll put whitelist is a special access to get a piece of merch first. So a good example is, for example, Nike or Adidas do exclusive drops of shoes. Before they do those exclusive drops of shoes, they could send out an email to or they could drop exclusive invites to make people get those shoes first before everybody else. So whitelist was a form of special access to get those NFTs before anyone else. So some NFTs you go to get them if you have whitelist, which is a special access to mint those NFTs or to buy those NFTs. While some cases you could still get those NFTs, but they could be on public, and public is basically like first come first served, and it's just like how Nike drops exclusive shoes. There could be only be 5,000 pairs, and then there's about 100,000 people online trying to get those 5,000 pairs, and it's like first come first served. If your internet is fast enough, if you have a bot, that's good for you. If you don't, then you're left out of nothing. But if you have whitelist, Nike could have reserved like only like 1,000 pieces for people who have whitelist or access or special access to get those shoes. So back then, NFT projects would have special whitelists where you could actually get the NFTs first before anybody else. And because NFTs had so much hype and euphoria about them, this was a kind of new form of technology on the blockchain where you could actually encrypt images onto Ethereum, onto Solana. It had so much hype and euphoria around it because people actually like anything that is kind of like new tech. And these communities around NFTs were forming to kind of like appreciate the art. Some NFTs had some special use cases. Some NFTs had roadmaps in terms of what they plan to do with the funds that were raised. Some NFTs are genuinely building community where you could actually bond with people, connect, form relations, or engage each other. And so, depending on what kind of NFT project you're interacting with, um, if that project had enough hype or enough traction or enough attention, just getting the NFT of it would mean you're sorted because whenever that project actually minted, that means whenever they launched and the NFT went live on the blockchain, you could be selling a piece of NFT for as high as 1 Ethereum back then, 2 Ethereum, three like NFTs back then. Once they launched, they were going for high prices. So luckily I started engaging with these communities. Some of these communities would do like some special campaigns, maybe go online, like a tweet, retweet, draw an art, make a shout out, make a post. So I made my Instagram, I made my Twitter account back then. This was like 2020. Previously before then, I was already on Twitter, but I never really used my Twitter account for anything. So I started interacting with this project, and Because back then crypto was so early, you could hardly come across people online to engage with. So I started also looking for people from, um, I'll say my background, my country, trying to look for people online to kind of form connections with so that I could, build an audience, a community around me. But that is said, I'll come back to that. Um, I got a whitelist from an NFT project on Solana then before Ethereum, because back then you could either get NFTs on Solana or Ethereum, mostly on Ethereum anyways. And then when I minted this NFT, I remember it, I minted the NFT for 0.2 Sol. And then when the NFT minted out, when that means like, they had like a supply of like 5,555, 5,555. When it minted out, that means when everyone got access to that NFT and it was no longer available, when people listed the NFT online, that means they were trying to sell it because just same way like you have a sneaker from Nike that's exclusive. Once you have a pair, you got a pair for like $100 off of Nike website. Now because it's exclusive and there is a want, there's a need for it, you can list it as high as $5,000 because you only have that exclusive pair. So
Yeah,
people were,
because it's essentially like, let's say if Nike gave out 5,000, if Nike had 5,555 trainers,
yeah,
once you own the trainer, you can sell it for anything you want.
yeah.
It's up to the marketplace to buy it or not, but you have the freedom to list any price.
Yeah, basically, anyone you can list for any price. And I remember there's something called the floor price, which is like the average price the listing could go for. And when I minted this NFT for 0.2 Sol, the floor price went as high as 20 Sol. And I was like, wow, from 0.2 to 20, that's
That's
like a
100x.
100x. I'm like, that is 100x from 0.2 Sol. And I can't really remember the price Sol was at, but Sol was way above $100 then. So it was like, okay, I
Going
just
from 100 to 10K, right? $100 to
yeah,
10K.
I was like, okay, I just made money. I don't think it was 10, yeah, from 100 to 10K, but I was like, I just made free money online just like that. And I was like, okay, there's money to make on here. So what I started doing was and then
No,
I wanted to
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because the Solana NFT era
hmm
was actually after the crypto bull run. I don't know if you remember this, but if you look at the timeline, yeah,
yeah,
Bitcoin peaked. Well, not even just Bitcoin, all risk on assets peaked in Q4 2021, basically October, November 2021.
yeah,
And the
hmm
NFT bull run actually began as crypto and risk on assets fell.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like you're telling me this NFT story, but what happened to the whole crypto bull run? Like, were you there? Did you make money on
Um,
altcoins?
okay, all right. My biggest bag or win from the crypto bull run was this coin called Safe Moon. I cannot forget.
Bro, that was my biggest win as well.
Oh man, it was.
70x, bro.
I think mine was above
Realize that.
70x. What happened was doing because I started looking into crypto. So when I came online trying to find money, how to make money online from crypto, I learned TA, I learned how to trade, but then I started searching on Twitter, what are trending communities, what are meme coins and everything. And then I stumbled on SafeMoon. I think SafeMoon was right after I think either Shiba Inu or Floki, one of them. But then they had a strong presence online and a strong community. I was like, okay, this is something that could have potential. And then I remember back then, I had joined the Telegram just about, let's say, 8 days or 9 days after they'd been created.
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
Lovely.
I was really early, but because it was kind of like my first kind of meme coin too, I wasn't really sure. So I was a bit skeptical, but I was like, okay, this is something, there could be something here. And I remember basically, I can't remember the exact amount I put in, but SafeMoon was at the lowest. Like it was just a week launched. So it didn't have any traction yet. And I think I can't remember how much I put in. I had Trust Wallet. I was with Trust Wallet. I basically bought it with. But then about a few weeks later, I had about 17K. I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
I was like,
I remember feeling like that. I
I was
remember
like,
feeling like that.
I was baffled. I thought Trustwell was glitching, and I went back to because yeah, again, I wasn't really heavy in the crypto space. So I went back to search online on SafeMoon, like what's happening. I could see like it was trending everywhere on Twitter. It had built up such a huge community. And I was like, okay, this seems like it has potential. But back then, I don't think I really cared. I just started taking profits because, like, this is my first time seeing, such amount in my wallet right after putting, like, just, I think it was probably like, I know I put like, I know I put in around like $50 or so. That's
Yeah.
basically roughly how much I put in.
Do you know what it is? During the time, it seems so crazy, but now
Mhm.
we understand later on it's all just mathematics, right? It's just
Yeah, it's
whatever
just,
market cap that
yeah.
you got in
Hmm.
and the market cap you got out. But the
Yeah.
thing is, back then, because there wasn't the token supply dilution of all these coins, it's
Yeah.
like money just needs. There's only a few places money can go to. So back then, it was like Dogecoin, Pepe, and then the thing
So,
is with SafeMoon came out at a time when Pancake Swap just got released.
yes.
So it
Yes.
was like before people were not decentralized trading on Ethereum because it's too expensive and it's too slow, and it was
Yeah.
before the Ethereum upgrade. Do you remember when Ethereum used to be proof of work?
Yeah.
Ethereum used to be proof of work. Like Ethereum is not even expensive anymore. Do you remember when everyone used to
No,
complain about gas fees? That doesn't even
I
exist
bought so much
anymore.
money on gas fees.
Ethereum's cheap now. So we just went to like Pancake Swap and just thought, oh, this is kind of fun, right?
Mhm.
Did, did you hear like the SafeMoon founder got like went to jail
Yeah. Yeah.
for money
it's
laundering?
it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Like, and just like you said back then, people were trading meme coins on Ethereum as well, but the gas fees basically was a barrier people were not willing to cross because yeah, again, why am I gonna? I'm gonna spend $100 to buy a coin, but I'm gonna spend like $40 to pay for gas. And then SafeMoon was basically at the early stages of BSC of like
Mhm.
and everything. I think that's one of the reasons why it also like got traction as well. But yet again, funny thing is like I wish I kind of capitalized more on that, but because I was still kind of early in the game, I don't think I knew what kind of opportunities were awaiting me. Because back then, almost everything was flying. As far as they had a community, it was flying. So I think I go in like really early on the market cap of SafeMoon, probably like 100K market cap, and I think went high into millions. So and even back then, I was like, imagine if I put $1,000 back then into it, I'll be balling right
But
now.
the thing is that there's no way you would have put $1,000 in there
Yeah,
because you didn't even understand price equals market cap divided by
exactly.
circulating
I didn't
supply. Like
understand any of that.
if we all knew price equals market cap divided by circulating supply in lockdown, we would all be decamillionaires right now.
Yo. Nah, but everything is always like a learning experience. But yeah, again, it's all about taking risk and finding out later and everything. But that was, I'll say, my biggest win from the whole meme coin era. Because I got that win, I had, I'll say, liquidity to actually like, trade more meme coins and everything. I had little, after SafeMoon, I went into Safe Mars. But with Safe Mars, I basically got out early because I kind
Oh
of knew
my God.
even back then, I kind of knew like, okay, the second runner, which is always the beta, doesn't always run as high as
Yeah,
the main one. So I
as the
knew
main one.
I knew when to kind of take profits and everything, but I took profits too early, number one. I didn't put as much as I wanted to as well, but it's all learning experience. So during the whole crypto era, it's as well, like the whole meme coin, the early meme coin days, I did get like a couple wins, but SafeMoon was my biggest win from there. And then when things were kind of like still like at this slow pace for meme coins, the NFT era basically now began. And with NFT as well, there's kind of like a barrier between ETH NFTs and Solana NFTs. On Ethereum NFTs, you have to pay high gas fees to actually mint or trade anything. While on Solana was still trying to find itself.
Yeah,
And
nobody knew what Star was in
yeah,
2021.
yeah, no one knew what
Like
Sol
I,
was.
I don't even remember being bullish on Solana for the whole 2021 bull
Yeah,
market because
yeah.
because because Solana literally launched. When did it launch? Did it launch at the end of the 2021 cycle or something? I can't remember exactly
I
when it
think
launched,
it was
but it wasn't
2020
there.
now.
It wasn't
It was
there at the
it was
start of the
2020.
2021 cycle.
It was 2020. It launched, I think it launched 2020, but it didn't pick up traction. And the reason for that was because there was so many other like altcoins that were trying to compete with Ethereum and Bitcoin, like for the likes of XRP, the likes of DOT, likes of what's it called? There's this other one as well, Matic. There's so many other coins out there that people were not really sure about what Solana was proving yet. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
to the test of time and everything. Big ups to the founders for keep on like for them always building and everything. But even back then, because Solana was the only other blockchain apart from Ethereum that NFTs were stable on, people started also like volumes also started coming into Solana itself, and NFTs launching on there too were also having like massive ROI. And I realized, okay, what was the best way for me to capitalize on this, I'll say trend or on this current meta, was to get whitelist. And getting whitelist, I realized the most people that actually go whitelist were people that actually were crypto influencers, people that had traction, people that had followers. And realizing like I'm just a normal Twitter account, I need to do something about it. So I decided to start building my Twitter account to start having like more presence, more influence, more followers. I started connecting with more people on the timeline, following people, creating connections, meeting people in Discord servers. While all of this is still going in, I was still grinding in Discord. I was grinding in Discord. You were back then grinding in Discord. You have to like reach like level 50. You have to talk for like 20 days in a month. I would always be on Discord, always saying hi, hello, this, always just saying the most shit to actually get the whitelist. And what that means is, back then, what how to get whitelist was they wanted to see an active community member. They wanted, and back then in Discord, you have like bots that could see your rank, and you could only rank up by like chatting a lot in the Discord server. So I'll be in Discord saying hi, saying hello, interacting with people, so I could increase my rank. Once you get to like, let's say I rank 25 in some servers, they give whitelist. And the more people that get in there to try and get whitelist, the less amount of whitelist still remaining. So you have to grind Discord servers, or you have to be like an influencer to get whitelist spots. And the reason why influencers get those whitelist spots is because they're able to do a bit of marketing for that project through that followers. So if you have like 20K followers, you're able to like post about the project, give you more awareness, and they give you some spots to give out, and they give you some spots to keep for yourself. So imagine this.
Yes, I remember this era. I remember this
Yeah.
era. It's all coming back now. Yeah. Where you as a crypto content creator would get the whitelist, but
Mm-hmm.
then if you were lucky, the project would give you whitelist to give to your homies.
Yes. So so
Yeah,
even
I
like,
remember.
so it could be a case where like the project's gonna give you 20 whitelist spots, and they told you, oh, you can give like five of them out and you can keep the remaining 15 spots. Now imagine this. People were getting whitelist spots of like, let's say like 15 to themselves. And when that NFT minted, it was going as high as 1 ETH. So people were making as easy as 15 ETH off of a single project easily. And if it was like 3K. So that's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
3K. Like people were making massive 5 figures or even 6 figures just from minting NFTs. So I started building a community. I started teaching people about how to get on NFTs, how to mint NFTs, how to make NFTs. And because I started doing that, I kind of connected with like other like kind of like influencers as well. And then we built a community called Hangar DAO. And Hangar DAO was a community where we mostly had a presence from like Nigerians in the
Mm.
crypto, all trying to actually kind of like, capitalize on the whole opportunities online. And we actually used to teach people how to like, get NFT whitelist, what NFT projects to also go for, because there were now a lot of there were now a lot of shitload like NFT projects that you didn't know which one was the best one to go for, because you could only invest your time in so many. So you need to choose the right ones as well, because not all of them were actually doing so great. So we would also like find out which one that had like alpha information, which ones were backed by like projects or backed by investors, and then we do this research, we share this updates and everything. And because of that, we kind of grew the community. And then at some point, we also launched our own NFT as well. We called it HD Pass, which was like a pass to our gated community itself. And that went as high as 3.33 ETH
Wow.
floor. So that was like the we're kind of like the biggest community from Nigeria in the NFT space, in the crypto space at that point. And because of the community I built, because of people I had helped along the way, my followers actually increased because I was always dropping alpha, I was always dropping information. And that was, I'll say, the most part of how I grew my online presence and my Twitter account. I think from then I went from like as low as 100 followers all the way to like 10K followers, because I was always there posting about projects and posting about my wins. I was always sharing information, sharing alpha, what projects you could go for, what projects you could win from. There's even a time where there was this NFT called Tubby Cats. And then I was one of the people that actually was posting it like, oh, go get the whitelist. It was easy to get the whitelist and everything. And because of me and my friends basically posting about it, a lot of like Nigerians got the whitelist for it, and people were selling it for as high as from 1 ETH all the way to like 20 ETH, because a lot of people got like rare topic cards and everything. People were selling for like 20 ETH, 15 ETH. I had people coming to my DMs, thanking me, even giving me money, like thank you for posting about this, for helping me find it.
Wait. People just gave you money because they made money.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
People were so happy, like, oh, thank you for this opportunity. Like they were like, what's your wallet address? Take 1 ETH. Like it
Wait,
was nice.
somebody gave you one Ethereum.
Yeah. So
I've,
like
ne- I've never heard anyone give, like, maybe online, but this is the first time I'm having a one-on-one interaction with somebody who say they received an Ethereum.
yeah, because like back
That's
then, like
crazy.
it's more about when you give value, value comes back to you. And it's because like I was just genuinely trying to like just help people. And even back then, people didn't have gas fees to actually mint an NFT. They might have a whitelist spot, they didn't have gas fees, or they didn't have the mint price to mint it. I'll just give them. I'm like, okay, just return it. Excuse me. I'll be like, just return it back to me once you've minted the NFT. And in such cases, some people, because I gave them that mint price money, I gave them the gas fee, they just kind of feel like gratitude to kind of give me something back, and for that reason people just gave me money back and everything. So it was kind of a case of like I genuinely just built interactions with people. I always connected with people. I reached out to people online. Once I noticed you're a real person online trying to also like get an NFT, I'll go into like project tweets and check the comment section and see, okay, people trying to be like, oh, choose me, I'm this and that. And I reach out to them right now, oh, I'm also trying to get this project as well. What's the strategy? This is what I'm doing right now. Or I have a whitelist spot, I don't have the main price money. Do you want to share it? Or I'm not sure about this project in terms of risk. Do you want to share the main price and everything? And that's how I basically like started building interactions and connections online. So far, what I've done in the crypto space was I learned TA, technical analysis, on how to trade coins. I was also in the early meme coin era of the crypto bull run. And then I also went into NFTs as well. And when NFTs were booming, and NFTs had a long run. Even back then, I have my friend on here, Sammy. Back then, I used to beg him, like, because back then, if you were an artist, you had more chances of launching a project and it being successful. So people wanted to see genuine art. So I was always trying to put artists on, like, come and just make art online. People will actually pay you for your art. Like, that's just what it is. And it was just the whole euphoria around it. So I was always trying to put people on, like, you can make, if you're an artist, come make NFTs online and you actually make money. Um, and NFTs actually ran for a while, and then NFTs actually evolved from not just art to projects actually having roadmaps to actually, delivering value back to the community. And projects from back then that have lasted and tested and had and tested like time and are still standing true. Projects like Pudgy Penguins are still around. I actually did have a little Pengu, but I sold it off and everything because back then, like when the NFT bear market hit, I needed funds and I just had to sell it. But Pengu was way back from the NFT bull run. Other projects that were still around up until recently were things like Solana SMB. That was also like one of the top Solana projects too.
Oh, wait. I think it's you want to break the five?
Oh yeah, sure it is. Give me a
Five
second.
thirty six.
I'm gonna be right back.
What up, guys? Ramadan Kareem. Krog, you ready for the geopolitics after our special guest?
I'm ready, man.
Amazing. We actually already have our guest for next week. Who's in the crowd today? Miss Unique Unite. She's the one who got me to talk about faith and finance, the insurance broker.
Hi guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Hope you're good.
I don't know.
All right. Ramadan, Mubarak to my Muslim brothers out there, sisters fasting. I just broke my fast, but I'll just wrap up. So, a summary of everything I've done in the crypto space is I started early. I found out about Bitcoin, but I didn't invest. I wish I did. I learned TA, I learned how to trade. I discovered meme coins, and I basically had my biggest win, which was SafeMoon back then. I entered the NFT era. I got rugged first, but then I learned how to trade NFTs better through the whole whitelist system. I realized there was an opportunity to get more whitelist, and I basically started building my followers, my audience. I gave value out there by always giving alpha, always giving information about what the next NFT play was. And through that, I built a community that I also, created value for a lot of people. They were able to be able to also put people on, help them make money. And through that as well, I grew my audience. I was able to also become a top influencer in the space. And following that, I've basically been following the trends throughout in the whole crypto space, which is now basically Web3. I basically follow each meta. I found out what's trending that in meta, and I basically partake in it. After NFTs, I basically deep dive into DeFi. And DeFi basically is decentralized finance. And like there used to be like different projects having like campaigns. You could farm projects, such as like I engage projects. Farming means like engaging in projects, campaigns, or test runs to actually get potential rewards for when they launch. So I participated in projects like, Layer Zero, ZK Sync, Arbitrum. My first airdrop was from Arbitrum in terms of DeFi. And then it was a massive airdrop for me. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Just from interacting or doing a few transactions on that blockchain. So after NFTs and DeFi, I just started, going with the meta, going with the trends. Anytime there's a project out there that has like massive funding, I try and interact with them for the hopes of a potential reward. And then I've kind of just always been myself online as well. Definitely just sharing what I do day to day, who I am, because you kind of have to connect with people out there, show who you are, and also like kind of contribute to the space. And ever since as well, I've kind of evolved over time, trying to contribute to the space, not just through like campaigns, but I also like work with projects. I try and actually change lives and give value out there. One of the recent things I did as well was I basically managed a um, um, crypto event called Stable Africa in Nigeria, which had like over like 3,000 attendees. And the whole point of that was to
Wait,
drive the
wait, wait. You hosted a crypto event in Nigeria that had 3,000 people.
I was part of the team, so I was managing. I was basically the event manager for the I'll say company itself. So if you probably go on Twitter and search Stable Africa, you probably see um, posts on it and everything.
What's the event called? Stable Africa.
Yeah, so Stable Africa.
Is this it?
No. Okay, remove the space from it. Let's see. Yeah, that one.
Hmm. You know what I heard from some of my Nigerian friends? I heard that there's people in Nigeria that make a full-time living just swapping stable coins for cash.
Yeah, because of what we call it, peer-to-peer trading. So
Mhm.
differences off of the differences of the forex for naira to dollar, they basically make money off of that difference itself. There are people that actually provide dollars through stablecoin, and they make money just being like the arbitrary traders of it. If you probably go to the video section, you probably see like a video of the event, probably media. Yeah, I think the 1 minute one, if you scroll up. So it was basically the
Oh, this
code,
one.
no, the other one.
This say 1 second. This
One
one
of
here.
one of the sponsors of this of Stable Africa is actually one of the highest invested fintech companies from Africa right now, called Credit. They have that's the founder right there. So it was one of the major backers of the Stable Africa. And the whole point is to drive adoption of stablecoin within Africa. And the reason for that is because we have I would say we can't really trust our local currencies. And because people are running businesses with global customers, you want to trade in a universal with a universal currency. And crypto basically breaks down those barriers. And the adoption of stable coin should be worldwide. So we're trying to push that adoption through Africa. And that was the essence of the whole summit itself. So that was one of the recent initiatives I kind of supported. So I didn't just want to do things online to kind of like just, um, make money or improve just my own personal bags. I'm also here to also like give value out there, contribute in different initiatives with my own skill sets, and basically kind of change lives by giving value. So my whole journey in the crypto space has been a lot of ups and downs, but it's been really interesting. I've met really interesting people, had a lot of really impactful moments as well. And I'm still here, creating, connecting, learning, and growing. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to come on here as well. Start going for like the co-working spaces, hosted by Solana, and that's how I got to meet Chin Ninja. And it's all about the space. The whole crypto space is about like connecting, learning, and growing. You cannot stop doing that. If not, you can't grow in isolation. You have to actually meet people. You have to also give value out there so that value comes to you. And that kind of is what drives me as a person. And that's what I'll say has kept me leveling up with time. That's kind of like some of there's so many more other things I could have said, but because of time, I can't just give a summary of it.
No, of course, dude, I would definitely like you back. You can say no because I know we've got religious responsibilities, but do you have any time for questions?
Yeah, definitely. Why not?
Okay, amazing. Let me pick some out. Eunice, my amazing Christian Ghanaian homie, who's going to be the next next guest, talking about insurance. Do you have a question for the good brother Ruled Out?
Not at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I look forward to having you next week. David, great to have you here. Great to have you here. Have you got a question for Mr. Ruled Out?
No, I don't. I've just been listening to his story, his experience as well. It's just eye-opening. It's a lot to take in. I just need to look at the re-recordings. I'll probably have some personal questions I might message him personally for after, but it's a lot. It's a very, very eye-opening thing what he's done in this space. And it's nice to see that somebody, not even just, it's nice to see that crypto and things such as that has been done all around the world. People may think that it's a big misconception that things and countries such as Nigeria and everything else that they aren't doing anything. And it's kind of prideful for myself to hear fellow Nigerian actually doing things, in the space, and this is making it well known. So it's nice to know that like you can grow in no matter what place you are.
Yeah, one of the reasons I really want to get Ruled Out here is because, Rewind 19 episodes, all we talked about is investing and trading, macro markets. You can make a killing in crypto by being a content creator. You can make there are millionaire content creators in crypto that probably don't know how to read charts, and they just have stacked it through just connections. I think that's important. And for me, I consider myself an investor, a trader, and a builder as well. And there's times, there's ebbs and flows in the market. There's times where you're really locked in and you're on the trading, and there's time where the market's crashing and there's not much happening in terms of the trading markets, but there's always something happening in the building markets. And in fact, I would go as far to say that when crypto goes down, that's when the builders actually show up more. Grog, my co-host, who's going to come on next talking about geopolitics, have you got a question for Ruled Out?
No, I don't have any questions, but thank you for sharing your story, man. It's always interesting to see how people make it work in crypto. And yeah, you got an interesting portfolio there for sure in terms of making it work in different ways. So yeah, man, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, thank you. Has anyone got a question, actually? I'm just picking out people now.
One thing about it as well was also thank you for having me on here, Mycelink, this whole webinar. I definitely will come back on because I didn't even touch on one of the most important aspects, which was how creators actually make money in the crypto space. I spent so much time talking about my whole journey and experience all the way to here, but there's a whole aspect of crypto in terms of just being a creator, just marketing itself for projects, because these projects actually get massive investments. Projects get all the way from $1 million all the way to like hundreds of millions of dollars. But they also need people to actually like market that product to bridge the gap between crypto users to normal like normies on the streets, and that's where marketers come true. And marketers can also come true in the way of creators who are creating awareness. And because we do that, those projects tend to actually reward us for those contents we've actually created. So there's also that aspect. I can also like do a deep dive on a later time. But yes, it's been a really nice conversation with you too, Ninja. And thank you everyone as well for listening in.
Just before you go to pray Margaret, my wife had a question.
Okay, all right.
Hello, Ruled Out. I'd like to know what AI automation tools you're using to get the content out because for what you do, I do believe you schedule everything in advance, so then it automates every day. Am I right or am I wrong?
A mix of both. And what it is at some point I would actually plan on my content using AI. Before the whole AI automation right now, I used to just use ChatGPT in terms of like, okay, this is what I'm thinking of, these are my thoughts, or this is my drafts. Can you help me refine it? And then I can basically post it. At some point I had this Twitter I'll say automation app called Circle Boom, but I never really used it because the time I tried to use it, I got a flag warning from Twitter that they could suspend me, so I kind of just stopped. So what I do, even right now, is I mostly use Cloud as my major, I'll say, AI tool right now because I think
Yes.
it's better than ChatGPT. So what I do
Yeah,
is like,
it's very intelligent emotionally.
yeah, it is, and I'll say it kind of adapts and refines more to your tastes. ChatGPT basically just stays the same all through. Um, what I do right now is I basically maybe like weekly, I basically just review what I want to post about this week, what projects I'm researching, what projects I'm talking about. I share my thoughts about it, and I just basically have like let's say like 5 posts lined up. And then whenever I'm ready, I kind of do manual posting. And the reason why I do manual posting is because I'd like to build that interaction with my audience, with my following, rather than just making a post. So I call it I warm up my page. And what that means is when I get active, I first of all reply previous people that have replied me. I interact with new people as well. I make probably like a GM post, and then I make that post that I want traction on. So that's why I really wouldn't automate my account in terms of, having, let's like a tool just automatically post for me. I'd rather have the content I want to post ready down, and then I kind of like warm up my account and I make those posts. So that's kind of what I do right now. Whenever I do have something to post.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much.
No worries. So yes, Ninja T, thank you for having me on here. I would very much like to be back again. And I'll still be listening in because I feel like there's so much knowledge here I can still learn from. But I can see like there's also other, I'll say, knowledgeable experts too. So yes, thank you again. And you have the floor.
Amazing. Well, I would definitely like to have you back talking about more on the how to. But thank you very much for sharing sharing your story. Yeah, let's get you back in February. Thank you for being our first ever guest. I'm so happy that
Woo!
Mycelink was your first ever platform. Like, it's crazy to me that nobody's interviewed you. Like, you've done a lot. You've done so much. So I'm surprised that no like little crypto platform didn't invite you to tell your story. So I'm
I
really
think
happy that you shared your story right here.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's because like I mostly still kind of shield behind. If you don't catch me in person, you probably won't catch me at all. I think it's because we met up in person, and that was all basically like allowed for this to happen. But yes,
Yes,
thank you so much as well. And do take care.
absolutely.
I'm still
All
here
righty.
off screen now.
Okay, amazing. All right, Krog, are you ready with the geopolitics?
Yes, we can get into it right now, man.
All right, let me just pin you, give you the floor. 1 second. Spotlight for everyone. Boom. You're the main guy, bro.
Just like that, man. Um,
So tell us what's been going on in the
okay,
world.
cool. Let's get cracking into it, man. Okay, so America, US government is asking for donations to pay off its 38 trillion debt. These guys are cooked, man. They're really asking for donations. They're asking for help, bro. It's funny, man. Right. On the 20th, the Supreme Court struck down a lot of the emergency tariffs in America as illegal. So, in response, Trump has hiked blanket global duties to 15% from 10%. So, the legal battles are ongoing with potential billions in refunds. So, yeah, basically, um, yeah, Supreme Court is deciding if Trump is is to be ruled legal or not, his emergency tariffs, or if he's been moving a bit dodge. So we'll see if anyone holds this man accountable. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Okay, it's gonna take years and years before that money gets refunded.
Dude,
Yeah, I
I
agree,
can't remember the
man.
last time the Supreme Court overruled the president.
Mm,
And this is super historical. Like, I didn't even think this the Supreme Court would overrule Trump. So it's definitely showing some kind of shift in power dynamic because he was moving like a tyrant for a while. Like he just ruled the whole world as if nothing could touch him.
mm. Yeah, man. And we'll see if that continues, but so far it seems to be working okay. Um, yeah. What else we got? About a 4-year anniversary on the Russian and Ukrainian war, which is, yeah, just very sad, man. Like where I live here, there's loads of Russians, loads of Ukrainians. I live with both. And everyone just lives in unity, man. If only our leaders could do the same. Um, so we've had, so I want to touch on the fact that we've had Lunar New Year, which is where I am, Ramadan and Lent, all lining up together, and this hasn't happened since 1863. So yeah, I think now is a very charged time spiritually. But then there's also less activity in the markets due to these factors as people are enjoying time with their family. And yeah, celebrating the celebrations. Um, but yeah, I mean, and it's interesting seeing it actually being in Hanoi right now for New Year's, like how like everything does just shut down, like the whole economy, just capital city. And so, around the world, all these different events, they definitely do impact the markets maybe more than you consider when you're sat in the West, um, not really noticing these cultural celebrations taking place. Um, cool. And so there was something, I actually haven't researched it properly to talk in depth, but it's basically like Russia is supposedly fining Google like an extraordinary amount. Like I read somewhere like quadrillions, but I haven't researched it. Um, I haven't researched it properly, but it's saying here that the fine is like around like a million times larger than the world's economy. So Google are like Russia are not happy with Google, and I don't know whether they are or not, goodness knows, but Russia definitely presents themselves as fighting the institutions always. So it's interesting. But yeah, I think this is to do with like data stuff, I believe. But yeah, I'll research that more because I'm interested. I just didn't finish it today. So the main thing I'm interested in, right, is going to talk about Cuba. So right now, right, we've seen blackouts in Iran. I've been talking about blackouts for ages. So right now in Cuba, 11 million people are left without power. They're experiencing a blackout, right? The national energy grid has collapsed following a 15-day blockade on any oil entering the country. So yeah, this is very interesting right now that like, there is no communication from them. They've had power out for almost 2 weeks. So this is borderline apocalyptic event. And I think it's very interesting for the world to see how blackouts actually play out because right now, so the sewage sanitation process, like that was backed by the power grid. So that's shut down. So yeah, there's no clean water, there's food spoilage, disease outbreaks, like with all of this, like 90% of the population do not have clean water right now. So sanitation and things, there's literally like no data or communications networks. And so yeah, it's all down, no access to healthcare as well. So it's literally, it's the children, the elderly, the chronically ill that are becoming the first casualties in this scenario. Um, and yeah, and I think, yeah, this is obviously pretty intense what's going on right now. And there isn't really a solution. Like, you give them oil, but like right now, all their systems are already shut down. Even to an extent, you give them fresh food, but then they don't have the facilities to like heat anything or cook with clean water. So there isn't, yeah, there is kind of like a big domino effect in terms of how Cuba can get back on their feet. But yeah, there is like a lack of Western coverage with this. Is someone putting a hand up? Would someone like to ask a question? Maybe not. Um, but
No, I've
I've
got a
got a
question.
question.
Oh,
go
go on.
on.
So you said how the Chinese market right now, the economy is really taking a hit in terms of not having, the basic necessities. How would that, do you think that Trump is going to use their unfortunate circumstances in a way to place even more pressure on them? Because he said already, and he's even bypassed the Supreme Court himself, and he's placed the 10% tariffs across the board anyways. So do you think that he might use this time to kind of put even more pressure to kind of force them into a position where America is more favorable? Because Ninja, you did also say that he is asking for the donations and he could use the way of potentially them tariffs to even contribute as a way of donating towards the debt fund.
I mean, personally, I definitely don't see him using the tariffs towards the debt. Maybe on like a bigger scale, but I feel like he'll find someone else to pay that off. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, to be honest, yeah, I don't fully understand the ins and outs of like how USA pay off their debt. Um, but maybe it is with the tariffs. But yeah, obviously the Cuba in a position right now where they can't really negotiate. Maybe a little bit similar to what's going on in Iran right now. I think USA are really, yeah. I think we're just gonna see it ramping up. Um, and yeah, pretty much bow down to the beast of the USA. But yeah, I think yeah, Cuba obviously are forced to negotiate right now. Um, so yeah, the negotiations definitely won't be working in their favor with this. And yeah, Russia tried to send them some fuel as aid, but this got blocked 12 miles from Cuba by the US. So, it's the US holding them in this blockade. And yeah, it's pretty much you're gonna have to do what the US want you to do at this point because it seems like absolute havoc there right now. But yeah, I just find it interesting that there's not really much Western coverage of these like of what's going on there right now, which is partly because no one really does know what's going on there because their power's down. But yeah, I'm always interested in these sneaky wars, you know. Yeah, I could really go on, but I'd be talking about history rather than news, and so I'm just gonna leave it
Can
there.
I?
I haven't got loads today. Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, it's not really a question. It was just a statement or just adding on to this topic. So I'm originally from Jamaica, and we have a lot of like connections with Cuba because they're so close. So a lot of what we do, in terms of we have a lot of people who want to study medicine, and we send them to Cuba for education, tertiary education, and all of that. I, I really understood that this was going to be very serious when they sent back all of our students to Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah, because you know, if there's no fuel, there's not going to be any flights, no way to communicate. So when that happened, we kind of knew that, you know, this was probably something to take pretty serious.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Yes. Thank you for sharing. It's interesting having that inside perspective.
No problem.
Um, so yeah, people, it's something to take serious, man. Um, so yeah, very interesting. But even just the fact that even me, I only found out it was happening this week. And I did geopolitics last week and I didn't touch on it. So yeah, it's very silenced. But that's why we talk about it. Cool. I'm gonna pass the floor back to Ninja.
Righty. Thank you for the geopolitics update. Pardon me. Just broken my fast. For those that are fasting, I'm sure you guys relate to not waking up before the sun rose. So I had a nap at 4:30 in the morning. Nap. I was supposed to wake up half an hour later, and then when I woke up hours later, I realized that I'd missed the window to eat. So thank you very much, Krog. Um, Halima, would you like to do the health and wealth meditation and then I get into my bit? I don't think Chryso's making today. And what I'm doing is a bit more intense. Are you ready or not yet?
No, I'm not ready yet. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought
No.
you were going first.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Obviously we've got different we've got a mixed order because we've had our special guest. Okay, so I won't go too deep because we've got a special guest today. The first thing I'm going to do, actually, let me iterate something. Let me iterate the Mycelink philosophy. So, for all of you people, Mycelink, we are not a company, we're not a business, we're not a legal entity, though that may change in the future. We may become a business in the future. We're a decentralized ecosystem of like-minded homies who see the world in a similar way, right? We care about generational wealth, we care about financial literacy, we care about doing ethical, God-righteous business. We like crypto, we're into AI. So at present, we don't sell anything, right? I'm not saying we'll never sell anything in the future. I don't believe it's a scam to sell information, but we don't sell anything right now. But I will tell you this. I believe in the democratization of information. So even my private clients who pay me to educate them, I tell them all the information is free anyway on Grok and on YouTube. So I'm going to start off by doing this. I don't think I've ever done this before, or maybe I did years ago. I'm about to give away my master watch list on TradingView. I'm going to explain why I have my watch list as follows. This is my day-to-day watch list on TradingView, where you want a watch list on TradingView where if you were to not read any quantitative data, you were not to read any news, you were not to hear anything, you would have a feel of how the market is. Okay, whatever you guys do, whether you mainly trade forex you mainly trade gold, you mainly invest in the stock market, you mainly trade stock options, or you mainly invest in crypto, this will apply to everybody because it's a way to view the macro markets quantitatively without getting lost in 5,000 articles. So I actually recently refined this 2 nights ago. And yeah, this is my master watch list. Okay, so at the very top of my master watch list, I have the ISM or the PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index. As I've said in multiple webinars prior, and I'll just repeat myself now, this has historically been in line with previous bull markets. So this is the recovery of the 2008 housing crash. This was the 2012, 2013 bull market. This was the 2017 to 2018 bull market. This was the post-COVID bull market. And what we had since, we have had a bull market in asset classes, risk on asset classes. However, the real world economy, so Main Street, which is dwarfed by Wall Street, has been consolidating. And what have we had recently? The biggest ISM slash PMI print for a very, very long time, many years. This is very, very positive for risk on assets. And as I said in either the last or the webinar before, the green index, which has historically been a lead for the American economy, is reacting very positively. The next thing I flick around between is the US money supply, just to see its velocity. Then I have a look at total release bank credit. By the way, I just have a look, right? There's not much analysis to be done on a lined chart. Then I have a look at US 10-year yields. So for the beginners, yields are basically a promise of interest. So let's say you're the government of Nigeria and you wanna make some tie with Donald Trump. You buy, let's say, $10 billion of US currency, and then for 10 years you'd be guaranteed 4% interest. So the reason why I have a look at this is because on a super macro long term, not in the short term, within multi-year cycles, bond yields have an inverse relationship with risk on assets. Because if you think of it like this, right? If you think of it like this, why take excessive risk if you can guarantee that the American government will give you interest? That's the way you got to see it. So as you can see, this is slowly and surely in a downtrend in technical analysis. You've got lower highs. Then I look at the 5 years and the 2 years. Then I'll have a look at the DXY, which is the strength of the dollar. I look at the conversion rate between the Chinese yuan and the US dollar. Historically speaking, when the Chinese yuan has outperformed the dollar, i.e., it cost more dollars to buy Chinese yuan, this has also historically been in line with euphoria in bull markets here in 2016 to 2017, here during the post-COVID run. We've obviously been bottoming out. However, this is a very good sign that we're breaking past this resistance. I do expect the dollar to keep falling and the Chinese yuan to keep rising. Then I have a look at these two real estate indexes. The iShares Global Real Estate Index and the SIXRE, which tracks real estate companies in the S&P 500. What I'm looking for is for the SIXRE and this index here to basically break out of the 2024 high, which will indicate more risk on appetite going on in the market. Now, this is a, how would I say this? Not a money glitch, but an information glitch. Okay, so the Vanguard Total World Stock Index represents how many trillions are in the stock market today. So whatever the price of the VT is, it's currently $147, is how many trillions are in the stock market today. So if the VT goes up by $2. It means $2 trillion has been injected into the stock market. If the VT goes from $141 to $134, which it did in late November, that means 7 trillion got taken out the stock market here. This was basically around the time when crypto was falling. Obviously, we are still falling because if I just skip over to Bitcoin, I haven't even added Bitcoin. That's how new the list is. Let me go at BCC right now. You will see that there is a relationship between all assets in the sense that, let me just go over to November. But what I'm going to do is, and big ups to my dev Matthias for giving me the premium version of TradingView. If I go here and then go to the VT, and I go here and I go to Bitcoin. By the way, this is one of the best uses of your time if you want to get good at markets. Just spend a lot of time on TradingView and spend a lot of time comparing price action between assets A to B, whether it's oil and Bitcoin or silver versus gold, and then you will basically see that in times when see here, there's a 7 trillion drawdown in the stock market coincides with Bitcoin crashing from 113k all the way down to 84k. All the way down to 83k. Look, at this bottom here, Bitcoin is 83k. The stock market rises and then Bitcoin rises with the stock market. Of course, it's not a perfect relationship because risk on appetite has severely decreased in crypto. Anyway, I'm just going to flick through. So that's the VT. Most people don't know about that. Now, 63% approximately of the entire global stock market is the S&P 500, which is why I have it right below the VT. Then we've got the VIX, which is the volatility index of the S&P 500. In times of extreme volatility, are typically either top signals or bottom signals. You see this one here? This is the Trump tariffs right here. And when did we have volatility this high? One second. The last time was in August 24. I can't remember exactly what happened then. And then the other time where it was even higher was during the COVID dip. Now, believe it or not, the next biggest market after the S&P 500, to my surprise, actually, I didn't know this till so I was doing deep research, is the Japanese stock market. Then we've got the UK stock market, the FTSE 100. Then we've got the Chinese stock market. Even though China is the biggest exporter in the world, its stock market only makes up for around 3% of the entire global stock market. The Chinese stock market hasn't even recovered since COVID. Remember, there is Wall Street, and come on, cover for this. There is Wall Street and there is Main Street. And like I said in a recent important talk, the money in Wall Street in financial markets dwarfs the money in Main Street. Then we have the Canadian stock market, TSX, and then we have the Taiwan stock market, and then the Swiss stock market. I just view these for, and then we've got the German stock market straight after, and I think the Nifty is the Indian stock market. Please screenshot, and then I would be so happy if you guys watching live and or the replay literally created your own watch list. You can have multiple watch lists, right? I call this Ninja's Master List because this is the list that I look at when trying to see everything from a global perspective. I am 100% happy for you guys to copy this exactly and just call it your macro watch list, right? Because most people fail in the markets because they spend too much time on their individual asset. When you spend too much time reading the chart of your individual asset without knowing what's going on in the world, it's a sign of poor practitionership, because it just means that you're just looking at your own portfolio. Refreshing your Trading 212 or your Coinbase account is not a good use of time. Time is much better spent looking at the macro market and looking at the flow of money, because somewhere here, where there's red, there's green elsewhere. When you really pay attention to macro, you will see a pattern where, let's say, the Magnificent Seven, which is the top seven biggest stocks, all tech stocks, so Nvidia, Meta, Google, Amazon, etc. You will see when there's a big drawdown in 1 out of 7 of the biggest stocks in the world, the other 6 will pump. Why? Because the liquidity is going to be somewhere, right? Something's always going up and something's always going down, because money's being taken out of somewhere into somewhere else. If whatever you trade, whatever you're into, whether you're a long-term holder, day trader, scalper, spot swing, or any mix of any of what I just said, you will benefit from this watch list. Then we've got silver. Notice how gold, silver, and platinum are all on exponential runs. Then we've got the Russell 2000s, the 2000 smallest stocks in America, the smallest public equities. We can see this is pushing all-time high, which again I've said in previous webinars. It usually does before the beginning of euphoria. Have you got a question? Put in the chat. It's gonna take years and years before that money gets refunded. Copper is on a run right now. I also like to compare the copper gold ratio. Basically, what I'm looking out for here in this copper gold ratio is that I am waiting for copper to set higher highs and higher lows. So basically, set a high, pull back, set a higher low, a higher high, and a higher low, and this will be a huge indication to me that risk on appetite is turning back on, and it's when the copper gold ratio starts performing, or well, copper starts outperforming gold, is when I expect crypto to recover. That's my theory, which is why I keep having a look. I've said this before. I believe oil is breaking out of its downtrend. I can see here an engulfing candle and the beginnings of higher highs and higher lows. I don't want to speak too soon, but if you're into futures trading in oil, or you're going to go long on oil, I think now is a good time. Next, we have, in the specific order of Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Taiwan Semiconductors, Meta, Broadcom, Tesla, and Berkshire Hathaway. Why in this exact order? Because these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought I put 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I must have been sleepy. I forgot the 10th one, but these are the top 9 biggest stocks in the world by market cap. Much like if we go to coinmarketcap.com, the #1 website in the world for cryptocurrency information and data, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, XRP, BNB, USDC, Solana, Tron, and Dogecoin as the top 9 biggest cryptos by market cap. If there's ever a day where I see all these go red, you know something in the stock market's pumping, because that money's got to go somewhere in a $147 trillion market. I like to also compare the following asset classes against each other. Bitcoin against gold. It's currently 13 ounces of gold for 1 BTC. When we start seeing this rise, it will also be an indication of risk on appetite back to crypto. I also like to have a look at some obscure things as well, like ETH versus XAG. Basically, what I recommend you guys do is, let's say, for example, you have a Tesla stock in your portfolio, right? Tesla. And then you also have, let's call it Solana in your portfolio, right? and you're thinking about selling some Tesla to buy Solana, or you're thinking of doing vice versa, or you're thinking of buying Tesla or Solana, what you can do is that you simply type in, you can compare almost any asset against almost any asset. Admittedly, free and lower tier versions of TradingView may limit these. But right now, we can see that it costs 4.96 Solanas to buy one Tesla stock. I'll break down the maths. One Solana is $83 and one Tesla stock is $411. So 411 divided by 5, 411 divided by 83 is approximately 5, right? So, and I say this, even though I love Solana, this chart tells me that since 2023, it would have been better to hold Tesla stock. Crypto people don't want to hear this, right? Even though I love Solana and I love crypto and it's my preferred asset class over the stock market by virtue of technology and being able to store it in a decentralized wallet, and I've never ever looked at this chart in my whole life, but I recommend that you do this because, as I said in a previous webinar, you do not want to live in sunk cost fallacy as an investor. You want to be in the best assets with the most upside. After that, we've got total, which is all the money in crypto, as you can see, we're down right now. We've got total 2, which is all the money in crypto minus Bitcoin, and then we've got total 3, all the money minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, all the money in crypto minus stablecoins, all the money in crypto minus Bitcoin and stablecoins, all the money in crypto minus Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, and something else, and then others is everything below the top 10. So if you see here in crypto, the top 10 absolutely dwarf the bottom 9,000 cryptos, just like the entire stock market, market cap, over 50% is just 10 stocks. Last time I checked, Nvidia was a $4 trillion stock. And the stock market's valued at $150 trillion right now. So one stock represents about 3% of the entire stock market. You want to be where people are invested in, and that's why I've created this list. Feel free to screenshot. I will do an update, but I think that if you copy this and you have a watch list and just call it macro, I'm just copying Ninja because I gave you the source, then this will give you an edge in the market. Crypto is still at extreme fear. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. I don't know exactly where the bottom is, but everything is at a huge discount right now, in my opinion. Quick tweet from N Squared Value. Time it took the United States to print 1 trillion. It took the United States 199 years to print their first trillion, but only 8 years to print their second trillion. Fast forward to, wow, this tweet's actually from 2020. The 17th trillion took 5 months, and the 18th trillion took 7 months. Basically showing that money's always being printed, and it's why things such as the S&P 500 are engineered to basically go up forever. Here's a tweet string. I typically do tweet strings that I read out on these webinars. Okay. Follow us at Mycelink, by the way, on X, and you will find a lot of information before we talk about it on Sunday webinars. So this is an excerpt from 42 Macro by Darius Dale, who are a institutional grade daily financial reporting company. I won't read all of this. The TLDR is it's unlikely that there is going to be a recession. Here's a chart from James Easton, one of my favorite people on Twitter, who's an affiliate of the Real Vision. On this model, we can see here that basically, it's basically a bottom signal. I know I've said bottom signal, bottom signal, bottom signal for a few weeks. I am a mid to long term investor, so it's not like when I say bottom signal, it means right here on the day. But I am a huge believer, and don't get me wrong, this is why you should do always do your own research, because I can only act on the best information that I have available right now. It is okay to change your mind. Do not be stubborn. I will tell you if I come to the consensus that we're not recovering and we're going to go through a 2-year bear market, I will jump on here and I will tell you. However, my consensus is still very much by the bit. So the global macro investor, also according to this indicator, recession is extremely unlikely. This one is by Real Vision. It's the Global Macro Investor Liquidity Composite. Remember, the number one reason why assets go up is because of liquidity injection, money injection. And the number one reason why assets go down is because of a liquidity contraction. So money being taken out the system. It is not because people are selling. The market doesn't go up because people are buying. The markets go up because institutions buy and then people follow, and then the matrix creates narratives to scare retail off, and this is why the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, because it's a transfer of wealth from those who can be patient to the impatient. That's why I love financial markets, because they will improve multiple layers of your life, including discipline. Bitcoin difficulty drawdown from all-time high. The last time we were at these levels was in COVID, actually. Obviously, it was way worse in COVID. But these are levels that we have not seen for a very long time. There's another model by N squared value, basically predicting that the bottom would be 57,000 if we get to it. Then some data sets from on-chain charts.onchain.com. This is the website if you wanna follow yourself. I like to go on dark mode. But yeah, just grabbing a few screenshots from there. We have here a bottom signal of Bitcoin on 7-day exponential moving average. The last time we were this low was April 2025 tariffs. That was a long time ago now. And this here is the, what's it called again? Something output profit ratio or whatever. Think of it as like an RSI. Basically, when we cross this green line here is an indication of bullish momentum. And as we can see here, we're about to cross it. I will also admit that this indicator, like all indicators, are subject to false positives. So just because it's piercing through doesn't mean that Bitcoin is definitely going up in the extreme in the near future. However, it's nice to get this this flash of data set in conjunction with the rest of the research. How do I remove this? They're all drawings. Okay, amazing. What else have we got? What else have we got? This on-chain metric here is basically, this has an inverse relationship to BTC. The last time it was screaming this high was in the April 2025 tariffs, and before that was in 2024. So I can't remember exactly what happened during this time in crypto. Because everybody who knows who these guys are, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, two of the greatest to ever do it. Obviously, I'm a Solana bull, so I have to share with you guys that Solana, as of the start of February, was the chain to make the most revenue. Obviously, crypto is not valued like the stock market because not all stocks move together, but crypto pretty much moves together. However, I believe as crypto evolves and gets more mature, the market as a whole will also price in things such as revenue and cash flow. That is not the case at present. Top 10 Solana decentralized applications by revenue. Number one being Pump Fun. I think Pump Fun is an amazing bet. Let's just have a look very quickly on TradingView. Oh my bad, I closed my TradingView. Let me close this. Halima, are you going to be ready in a moment?
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. I'll let TradingView load. By the way, whilst Ruled Out was speaking, I did have a look at Lil Pudgy's, and I can't lie, it's very tempting. $1,000 for a Lil Pudgy's. If you know anything about NFTs, you'll know this is super cheap. Look, all-time low. I don't know when they're going to go back up here, but yeah, greatest NFT project of all time. Come chat to me. I would love someone to tell me that something is better than the Igloo incorporated ecosystem, Lil Pudgies, Pudgy Penguins, all the toys. I don't think anything even comes second. Nothing comes close second to Igloo, in my opinion. What do I have to look at? Yeah, pump. Number one platform where they launch meme coins. Where are we in the spot right now with pump? Super accumulation zone, I'm assuming. Yes. Major lows. If you just take a ruler to the high in September, yes, easy forex and financial advice. Let's go to my deck screener and just have a look at what I'm looking at in terms of multi charts. I see here. I know we always want to buy the bottom. I always talk about the bottom, but when investing, you want to ask yourself, am I investing in something that is undervalued and I'm looking to make a mean reverting investment? Mean reverting means that you are expecting, because the asset, according to your research, is so undervalued and it's so far from the high, you expect it to revert back to the high. That's called mean reverting investing. Or you can be a mean reverting trader, right? Someone who likes to long the bottom. I used to always be Mr. Mean Reverting. However, I have, through Professor Adam, have now become a mixture of both mean reverting investor and trader to a trend following investor and trader. Trend following, it means that you are buying something because it is trending upwards. Now, you don't want to buy something if it's at the all-time high. That's stupid, right? But when something like needs, not in education and employment. Alon, who is one of the founders of Pump Fun, again, the number one Solana meme launchpad. I remember him talking about this for a while. So, I mean, you could take a position in here, or you could wait for a pullback. But I'm happy that Neat has finally broken it into an uptrend. I do believe in Uranus, but obviously it's hard to pick meme coins in a market where Bitcoin is nearly 50% from the all-time high. So yeah, Uranus, I'm basically waiting for these things to catch some kind of bid, like some kind of higher high and higher low, and basically come in at the higher low. Pro, last time I checked, everything's fine with the project, but of course, chart's looking diabolical. Wanna buy White Whale on the basis that, well, I wouldn't buy it anytime right now until maybe it retests this level here. I do believe in 6-7. I know the chart is absolutely disgusting. This green line represents what I thought it would do. However, technical analysis doesn't guarantee you anything, especially meme coins. Yeah, I think cultural relevancy is still the one with 6-7, and the parents of the 6-7 kid actually founded this coin. So I do believe it's going to turn around. And then next, Pippin, what an absolutely insane run up from this dip. I'm just looking. I'm just at the sideline right now, looking for the Pippin entry. I missed this. It's kind of annoying. But I don't want to FOMO in. So that's what's on my meme coin watch list. Pippin 6-7. Oh, I really like Bullish. By the way, they bought the intellectual property for the imagery. Also highly being chilled by Wall Street Bet. I would look to get this at 005. Yeah, so do research on these meme coins. Pippin, 6-7, Bullish, White Whale, Troll, Neat, and Uranus. That's what's on my meme coin watch list right now. Can't call it macro meme coins, that's talking about meme coins. Finally, Google searches for Bitcoin is dead just hit all-time highs. This is the highest since the FTX crash. What was the price of Bitcoin during the FTX crash? It crashed to $16,000. Yeah, I think that's enough macro from me. Halima, are you ready to end it with a health and wealth meditation, and then we'll take any Q&As?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let me make you the spotlight, my darling. And then I will. Okay, take the floor.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Halima, and today we are journeying together through a guided meditation for health and wealth. Find a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Let your shoulders drop, relax your jaw, and soften every muscle in your face. Release any tension about the markets, money, and what you think you should be doing right now. In this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Thank you for being here, and thank you, God, for aligning this sacred gathering. Let's breathe together. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your awareness to your body, this vessel that carries every dream you've ever held. Your health is your wealth, and without it, there's nothing else. Feel your feet rooted to the ground, stable, supported, strong. Notice your heartbeat, steady, alive, and powerful. Before we build your empires, we must first honor the foundation. This is habit 1. Be proactive. You are not a messenger in your life. You are the architect. You choose to be here today. You choose growth, and you choose yourself. This is habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. See the legacy you are building, not just numbers on a screen, but generational freedom. A family tree that never grows, a family tree that never knows scarcity. When your body is well, your mind becomes clear. When your mind is clear, you make powerful, aligned choices. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I want you to picture something magnificent. You are walking through a grand double doors of a palace that belongs to you. The floors are polished marble, white and gold, gleaming beneath your feet. Towering columns line each side, draped in emerald silk. The ceiling soars above you, painted with constellations, a universe that was made for you. At the center of this palace is a magnificent throne room, and in the middle, a table carved from obsidian inlaid with gold. On this table sits everything you've been building, a glowing portfolio of Bitcoin and Ethereum, pulsing with golden light, stacks of dividend-paying stocks, solid as the marble beneath your feet, property deeds, business plans, trust funds bearing your family's names. This is not a fantasy. This is habit 3. Put first things first. You are here because you prioritize what matters. You invest before you spend. You build before you broadcast. Walk to the throne at the head of this room. Sit down. Feel the weight of your own authority. From this seat, you oversee every investment, every strategic move. You are the CEO of your wealth, the guardian of your bloodline's future. You look to the left, a window reveals a vast estate, rolling green hills, a home filled with laughter, children and grandchildren who will never wonder where their next meal comes from because of the decisions you are making right now. This is your legacy. You built this. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place your hand on your heart. Feel its rhythm. Can you feel it? This is habit 7. Sharpen the saw. The commitment to renew yourself in body, mind, and spirit so you can lead at the highest level. Repeat these words after me. I am the best. I can do it alone, and God is always with me. I am a winner. Today is my day. I am unstoppable. My body is healthy and my mind is focused. My wealth is growing with every wise decision. I make strategic moves for my future bloodline. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now feel the power of these next words. Money flows to me easily and consistently. My wealth is supported by my health, and my health is supported by my wealth. I make clear, confident decisions from a place of peace. I am divinely protected in every financial choice. Every move I make builds an unshakable legacy. This is habit 4. Think win-win. Your success does not diminish anyone else's. It actually creates abundance for everyone connected to you. And this is habit 5. Seek first to understand. You listen to the markets. You study before you strike. You move with intelligence, not impulse. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See yourself as whole, complete, and powerful. Your physical health, strong, vibrant, and unstoppable. Your mental clarity, sharp, focused, and brilliant. Your financial abundance, flowing, multiplying, and limitless. These are not separate parts of you. They are one unified force. This is habit 6, synergize. When you care for your body, you think with clarity. When you think with clarity, you invest with wisdom. When you invest with wisdom, you build the life you've deserved, and the legacy of your bloodline will inherit for generations. You are the bridge between past and future, between what was and what will be. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With your hand on your heart, feel the truth of these words and say them with me. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. God guides my path with every step. I am the best version of myself today and every day. This abundance is mine. This clarity is mine. This success is mine. I am blessed, I am grateful, and I am ready. Take one final deep breath. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last time, breathe in for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your shoulders back. Feel your strength. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Notice how you feel, calm, powerful, aligned, and ready. You are grounded, you are abundant, and you are unstoppable. Welcome back. Let's build this legacy together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay! So that was an amazing episode. Any questions? This was a long one. Any questions about anything? Including but not limited to the markets. All right, I'm just gonna pick David, any questions from yourself?
No, none of it actually. This one's just been a bit of a longer one, so it's been more of a listening mode of anything else.
100%. Appreciate you tuning in. Betsy, this is the first time you ever came to our webinars. Welcome to webinar 20 with our first guest. Any feedback from yourself or any questions?
No questions from me, but I think it was very insightful. Someone who doesn't have any background with, any type of these things. It's really eye-opening and enlightening. And, I just feel like I want to share it with others. So, yeah, I'll definitely be coming a bit more often so that, this information will be able to stick with me and I'll be able to share it.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming for the first time. We hope that you're back. The replay will be out on YouTube within 24 hours, so feel free to share that with your community. And next week we will have Eunice talking about insurance. Did you meet Eunice? Do you know her from the event?
Oh, yeah, I know Eunice. I have her, took her details. So, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
To everybody who's fasting, and we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.